Welcome to the world united. Welcome to the world united.
Today, we are going to have some insights on centeredness. If there is one practice in the world, if there is one self fulfilling activity, if there is a purpose in life, that could be none other than centeredness. Many people assume that the purpose of anyone's life is related to what one does. The purpose of any person's life is about how one should be. Many people relate themselves in terms of what they should do so as to understand and align with so-called purpose of one's life. One cannot understand one's own purpose unless they understand what is with him. What we have within is a huge level of emptiness, a massive nothingness. This emptiness and nothingness, when it is attempted to understand through any spiritual practice, one finds that there is a convergence. There is a convergence of this nothingness. There is a convergence of this emptiness. This convergence is the key for higher realms. This convergence leads to a center which is totally nourished by the cosmos. The center of each one of us is totally nourished, empowered by the cosmic energy, by the cosmic consciousness. It is like the baby or the fetus living in the uterus connect to the mother through the umbilical cord, and all the nourishment, energy, information comes through the center. Many people think that it is only for nourishment. No, it is a connecting cord at an emotional level, a deep emotional level, and a spiritual level as well. This connectivity is vital for the fetus to grow. And once it is severed, once the umbilical cord is severed, it is disconnected, the baby turns into independent soul. Totally independent soul. The soul or consciousness of each human being is also connected to the entire cosmos. Like once umbilical cord is severed, we're saying that a baby is born. Once the connecting cord between umbilicus and cosmic consciousness is severed, At a physical level, we are calling it as death. And at a higher realm, we are calling it as birth. So this center is a mysterious and very enigmatic to understand, because it represents both life and death. Death of one realm, emergence of another realm. This center is a connecting point between life and death. And the truth of entire cosmos is put into this space called as one's center, otherwise called as the hara. The portal of entry into the cosmic truths, the portal of entry into the cosmic consciousness, cosmic energy, is through this point of consciousness called as the hara. The astral forms and the physical form is also connected by silver cord, which emerges from the hara. The soul leaves the body through the hara. The entire tentacles of the consciousness from each and every cell of the body, like the roots, like fibrous roots, it comes through the hara and moves as one singular cord. Umbilical cord, deep down, is attached to the placenta through thousands and thousands of ramifications of blood vessels. Similarly, each and every cell is tentacled to this point of hara. Each and every cell, all the trillions of cells in the body, are attached to this hara. Tentacled, tethered to the center. So whatever happens in the center affects each and every cell. Whatever happens to this center affects each and every center of the whole cosmos. Each one of us is connected through the center. So cosmos or the oneness is understood only when we understand the center. Only when we can understand the super connectivity of all these souls, physical and non-physical. It might seem that some efforts are required to understand the center, but it is actually not. When one can dare to drop all efforts, if one can cultivate the attitude of ease, inner ease, this center gets stimulated. This center is very difficult to describe, very, very difficult to describe, but it can be understood, it can be experienced. From my childhood, I used to feel this center as a ball, a firm ball. It has firmness, it has borders. I used to feel it as the size of the fist, approximately, in the lower belly, viscerally inside. Whenever I was absolutely silent, I was there. Whenever I was there at my center, I was absolutely silent. The thought that I was absolutely silent doesn't also emerge. You are just silent, that's all. You don't know that you are silent. You are just silent. only to be surprised when a thought comes and you laugh at it. In my case, this used to happen quite frequently. All the intense periods of life, all the turbulent moments of life are vital sources to activate the center. The soul has to be stirred. The soul gets stirred only by vagaries of life, adversities of life, the challenges of life. If there are no challenges in the material world, the soul can never be awakened. There must be a stimulus. The soul tries to find its center, tries to find its roots, tries to find its connectivity to truth. Absolutely all discoveries, absolutely all inventions happen to the scientists only when our throat is silent. When they got connected to their centers. This center is center of vitality. This center is also a center of longevity. Our cells have become senile. People are becoming imbecile just because of their belief systems. We are all fed with this social conditioning of information. We are all fed with typicality of thinking patterns. We are heavily rooted in this time and space modes of communications. What is time in a definable way in planet Earth is different in planet Venus, planet Jupiter, planet Pluto, in different galaxy, different nebula, is different. The time is what is related to planet Earth. When it has different meaning in different time zones, in different planets, different galaxies. We are stuck with this concept and idea of time and space. Soul is time immemorial. Consciousness is time immemorial. We calculate for everything. How much time I should spend for meditation. Everything is calculated. After how many sittings I am going to get realized. Someone says sit for 40 days, 1 hour per day. Someone says sit for 6 hours a day, you will get enlightened in 1 week. Observe. Understanding is never based on calculations and any measurable criteria. The center, otherwise called as Hara or Hiranyagarbha, or Prajna, or Dao, or Dharma, Advaita, is a union of the two poles, two extremes, two diagonally opposite energies, dark and light. And it exactly stands at one's meridian. To awaken this, there are two ways. One way is by way of cultivating the attitude of ease and keeping the mind's eye at the Hara. With ease, everything happens only with ease. Inner is a cultivable idea. It has to be cultivated on a daily basis. You have to cultivate. You have to sharpen that. Inner ease is based on letting go. For many people, letting go cannot be understood because they want something to practice. They need something to practice. They want some effort to get out of this stuck up energy. Second method is breath. There is a third method when you can combine the inner ease with the breath. This is ultimate. But it should never be treated as a method. It should be treated as a moment to moment sadhana. When you treat something as a method, you do it diligently for a certain stipulated time. But to understand the centeredness, to understand hara, moment to moment cultivation in each day of your life, wherever you are, that is very important. A whole shift of paradigm is necessary here. Breath with inner ease. Breath helps one to let go of oneself, especially exhalation part. You inhale only for the sake of exhalation. And as I repeatedly emphasize, the terminal point of exhalation is the key. You sink to the hara. You totally sink. And get connected to your center. So let us take some time to meditate. Sit straight. Keep your hands like this. Create the oval, Brahma Mudra or Cosmic Mudra. Keep it in your lap. Drop your shoulders. Close your eyes, please. Create that ease inside. Please focus on your breath. With every inhalation, abdomen rises. With every exhalation, abdomen goes within. Your attention has to be totally relaxed. Never strain yourself. There is no element of strain or concentration in the world of spirituality. What we are doing is development of an attitude of meditative consciousness, which means understanding the true meaning of silence. Please focus on your exhalation, particularly. See how the breath sinks into the hara at the end of exhalation. Abdomen has to breathe. When you inhale the truth, you inhale the cosmic consciousness, you inhale energy. When you exhale, you exhale all patterns, you exhale all rigidities, you exhale all stupidities of oneself. With each exhalation, you start feeling more and more lighter. Keep your mind's attention onto the hara. Let the nose and navel be in one straight line. All the 7 meridians of energy called as chakras are governed and manipulated, controlled by this meridian of consciousness called as the hara. Prana is ruled by prajna. Energy is ruled by consciousness. And consciousness has a center, which is connected to the terminal point of exhalation. Like each cell of the body is connected to the hara of each person is connected to each other. This center of the collective consciousness of mankind is connected to the center of the earth. The center of the collective consciousness of mankind is connected to the intergalactic center. Everything is connected. A small ripple in any center of one's consciousness creates a ripple in the total field, the unified field of consciousness. We are one. One should start cultivating the attitude of being a part of this massive collective consciousness. This helps one drop one's denser patterns, the egos, and the linear thinking styles. Unless we think and contemplate on the highest, the denser realities cannot cease to trouble us. A higher thinking, a higher understanding, a higher connectivity, a deeper connectivity is a tool, is a key to drop away all the denser rigidities, otherwise called as the mind. This mind, the stupid mind, keeps you anchored. In terms of safety and security, physical security, emotional security, financial security. That's why we work harder and harder to make us feel more and more secure. We work for longer and longer to make ourselves feel more secure. We are never insecure because we are the part of the whole. Each one of us is a part of the whole. Everyone is secure. But the security is understood at a very denser level in terms of jobs, in terms of relationships, in terms of money, wealth, etc. Keep your mind's attention onto the aura with more ease. Focus on your exhalation, how each exhalation ends, syncs, and connects with the aura. The more you get connected with the aura, the more you feel empty, emptiness in the mind, emptiness in the emotional body. The clutter clears, the clouds vanish. You become more loose, ease, subtle, soft, and fluid like inside. The inner fluidity has to be practiced moment to moment. Effortlessly, there are no efforts here. That is irony. That is a paradox. That is a mystery. The more you distract, the more you deviate, there is a demand to get to your center. There is no need to worry about any distraction or deviation, because the more you get distracted, the more you get deviated, the more the soul awakens you towards your center. The soul makes its presence felt by default. The very tiredness of distractions and deviations becomes the entry point of the center. So there is nothing to worry about any type of distractions or deviations whatsoever. All the children are masters of inner ease, quite opposite of the adults. You need to keep efforts for everything. Our wholesomeness is lost through these effortfulness attitudes. When we try to understand ourselves the way we are, the way we truly are, everything opens up. without trying to modify, without trying to edit, without trying to change ourselves, without any aim, without any expectation, without any anticipation, without any result orientation. Just trying to understand ourselves neutrally, unbiased, uninclined, staying at one's meridian. That leads to centeredness. It is like a hydroponic plant, a plant which is nourished only by water, no earth. Everything has to be fluid inside. Everything has to be easy inside. It has to be cultivated regularly. That is the only purpose of anyone's life, nothing else. That is the only meaning of one's physical existence. Let the mind's attention be unto the hara. With each inhalation, the abdomen raises. With each exhalation, abdomen goes within. Keep your nose and navel in one straight line. The heaviness in the head disappears. The heaviness in the heart disappears when we move towards center, when we move towards the hara. We need to be centered in consciousness. We need to be rooted in consciousness. If there is more brilliant, more intelligent word in English dictionary, it is centeredness. More beautiful, magnificent word, centeredness. Slowly open your eyes. Keep your mind's attention on the mind's eye, onto hara. The mind's eye should be rooted in the center, whether the physical eyes are open or not. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, inputs, please share.
Sir,
Yes, please.
how does meditation help this? I mean, the connection between pineal gland and pituitary gland in meditation.
All the endocrine glands, all the exocrine glands. Endocrine glands are those glands which produce hormones. Exocrine glands are those glands which produce enzymes. Not only hormones are important, but enzymes are also important. Most important is the coordination between all exocrine glands and all endocrine glands. And the pineal gland or pituitary gland are some of the endocrine glands existing in the body. The other endocrine organs like thyroid, thymus, pancreas, adrenaline, adrenal gland, prostate. And there are some organs which are both exocrine and endocrine, like pancreas. Some of the cells produce enzymes, some of the cells produce hormones. So the coordination is called as technically homeostasis. And the hara is the center of this homeostasis. Homeostasis means a self-regulatory system. There is an inherent inbuilt self-regulatory system called as homeostasis, which builds immunity, which coordinates all endocrine glands, which coordinates all exocrine glands, which coordinates each and every cell. In the center of this homeostasis is the hara. Like there are energy centers called as chakras, there are centers in the physical body as well. Main centers. These main centers are called as endocrine glands or exocrine glands. Exocrine, when you see from the perspective of enzymes, they are called exocrine glands. When you see from the perspective of hormone, they are endocrine glands. When you see from the perspective of nerves, at every center of endocrine gland, exocrine gland, we have a very particular exclusive nerve plexus, like celiac plexus for Muladhara, inferior sacral plexus for Swadhisthana, superior sacral plexus for Manipura, celiac plexus, cardiac plexus, thymic plexus. So everywhere we have nerve centers as well in the axis of the body. Because where there is energy, there is a congregation of vital organs in the axis of the body vertically. So the 7 centers of energy are also in coordination, work in tandem with the nerve centers, the exocrine centers, endocrine centers. Put together is everything has to be coordinated. When the disturbance in the coordination, it leads to ill health. When there is a disturbance in homeostasis, it leads to ill health. So awakening of hara, consciousness, the practice of centeredness leads to the activation and augmentation of homeostasis. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, sir. Yeah. It was a good session.
Yeah, thank you very much. So if there are any questions, we'll continue, otherwise we'll close. We'll meet on next Saturday. Thank you very much once again.
Yeah.
Let us be more centered, more
Thank you,
fluid,
sir.
more easy inside.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
you.
Yeah.